Hello. In this video, we will go over how to look at your reaffirmation agreement. A reaffirmation in bankruptcy is basically an agreement wherein you will agree to keep a particular debt after the bankruptcy. It's very important for you to understand two critical components. One, if you decide to keep the debt under a reaffirmation agreement, the discharge in bankruptcy will have no effect on this creditor, which means down the road, after your bankruptcy case is completed, if for some reason you change your mind about keeping that debt, you're very likely going to have to somehow settle the debt with that creditor because the bankruptcy will have no effect on that debt because you chose to reaffirm it. The second thing that's important to understand is you have a very short window of time to cancel a reaffirmation agreement if you change your mind. So it's important to really think carefully about whether or not you want to do a reaffirmation agreement before you sign it and have it filed by your attorney or the creditor. Now, the format can look slightly different depending on which finance company or attorney prepared the reaffirmation agreement. But generally, all of the essential terms will be here. Usually there's a cover sheet, and the cover sheet is going to identify the creditor, in this case, generic auto finance company, and how much debt is being reaffirmed. It's very important for you to compare the amount that you're reaffirming as well as the interest rate and the remaining number of payments and the monthly payment to what your understanding of your loan is. Here is the item that's being refinanced. In this case, it's reaffirmed, I should say. In this case, it's a car. Now, understand that these terms here are negotiable by your attorney. However, some finance companies will refuse to negotiate. They will want you to pay the contract balance. It's very important to note these terms and be comfortable with them and be very, very clear on what your obligation is to the finance company. If you don't understand these terms, you must sit down with your attorney to iron them out so that you have absolutely no confusion about how much you pay every month, how many months you're going to be making that payment, how much you're going to pay overall, how much debt you're reaffirming, and what the interest rate is, and whether that interest rate will stay the same or it will change. Now, some of these are going to be, this is going to be information that's taken off of your bankruptcy schedules and it's going to be prepared by your attorney or the finance company. You want to peruse this and make sure that it looks accurate with your recollection of what was listed in the bankruptcy. And then it's possible you may have to sign here in this section, and then the creditor will sign here. Sometimes there's a presumption of undue hardship. And in that case, there's some additional formatting that has to be done to the reaffirmation agreement. And also understand that if there is an undue hardship or if the financial nature of the debt you're reaffirming does not meet with the attorney's belief of what is in your best financial interest, the attorney may refuse to sign this agreement, and you may have to take it in front of a judge yourself, pro se, meaning without your attorney, and explain to the judge why you think that this is in your best financial interest. The biggest parts here are the amount that's being reaffirmed, the interest rate you're paying, whether it's fixed or variable, and how many overall payments you're going to make, what the monthly payment is based upon what your disposable income is, and whether or not it's worth it based upon the value of the car. If the car is worth substantially less than the amount you're reaffirming, it's very likely that your attorney or the judge may refuse to sign off on the reaffirmation agreement. Again, the information on what you're reaffirming is here and is spelled out in plain language, but it's very important that you don't just glance over it. You must be very, very comfortable with the terms of your reaffirmation agreement. In this case, this section talks about terms as of the date of the bankruptcy and terms after reaffirmation. Here, these numbers could be different. Your attorney might actually negotiate a lower amount for you to reaffirm, and there would be a difference then between how much you owed before the bankruptcy and how much you were agreeing to pay after the bankruptcy. Again, it's very important that you compare these terms and make sure that they are consistent with your understanding of what the debt is that you're reaffirming. Also understand that sometimes when you go to a bankruptcy attorney, the impression is to tell the bankruptcy attorney that you're destitute and poor and that your expenses far exceed your income. That can come back to bite you when we're preparing a reaffirmation agreement, because if it turns out that your monthly expenses exceed your monthly income, it could turn out that the reaffirmation agreement proves to be an undue hardship, and either your attorney or the judge may refuse to sign off on it. Make sure that everywhere it says signature for the debtor that you sign, so that your attorney then can prepare all the remaining forms and submit them to the court. Don't hold anything back from your attorney, and make sure that if there's any questions that you have about your reaffirmation agreement, especially when your first payment is due and how much the monthly payment is going to be and how many remaining payments you have, make sure that you are very clear on those terms. In this case, the monthly payment is $541 for 42 months. The first payment would start about a month after this reaffirmation agreement is signed with the creditor. Also, it's very critical to make sure that you are told where the payment must be made and in what format. Some creditors will want an electronic debit. Some creditors will want cashier's checks or money orders. So it's very important to know what form the payment must be made and where the payment must be made. Do not be late on a reaffirmed debt. It's been my experience that some creditors will repossess a vehicle even if you're 1 day late on a reaffirmed debt, which would be absolutely horrible because you'll be stuck with the balance of the loan and you'll have had the vehicle repossessed. So it's the worst case of all. And understand that you might have been used to, prior to the bankruptcy, of having a grace period of a few days, even as much as a week or two, in making your payment. That grace period is probably non-existent after you do a reaffirmation agreement post-bankruptcy. So make sure that this is a good financial deal for you. Some people feel the need to keep their vehicle so badly, and they don't understand that the vehicle depreciates so quickly that you're going to end up paying substantially more over time than the vehicle is actually worth. So make sure that you don't make that mistake. If you have any questions about your reaffirmation agreement, talk to your attorney, make an appointment to come and see us. We'd be happy to go over the terms of your reaffirmation agreement with you. Thank you.